Greetings and thanks for joining us on Talk of the Town. I'm Jane Jude. Well, our beautiful island is filled with such rich history, and one of the premier sites is the Mitchellville site on Beach City Road. There's been a little bit of work done there, but now a group has formed to make that site accessible to lots of islanders. And here to tell us about the project are people working on it: Irv Campbell, a native islander, now working with the Gullah Tours, and Ezra or Cal Callahan, who is working with the project now, a recent immigrant to our island. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
So, Irv, tell us a little bit about the history of the Mitchellville site.
Well, Mitchellville started in 1862 by General Mitchell. Armsy Mitchell was assigned here, and he started that site actually to teach contrabands, because slaves were called contrabands after the Union Army arrived. General Mitchell wanted to teach the contrabands independency and introduce the contrabands to the political process in America. And at that particular time, he started that little village with about 1,000 to 1,500 contrabands.
1,000 to 1,500 is not too small. I mean, that's quite a sized community. And those were all people who had formerly been enslaved here working on the island?
Yes, those were formerly enslaved individuals. And what he wanted to see in that village, he wanted to see a school, and he wanted to have a religious practice. And the school was the first compulsory school in the state of South Carolina. The religious practice was Baptist, and the first African Baptist church came out of that little village.
How interesting. So how long did the village survive?
The village survived until about 1878. 1878. It's from 1862 to 1878.
And what happened to them?
Well, a lot of the freedmen at that particular time was moving in the village and moving out of the village, moving elsewhere in America. And a fire actually came in the village and helped destroy some of the structures in the village. And that's what happened, and people started moving out to different parts of not only the country, but they moved in different parts of the island as well.
So General Mitchell, also Fort Mitchell, that's in the Hilton Head Plantation, is named for him as well. So he started the first school for freed slaves.
Yes.
And there it is. So Mr. Callahan, what do you think, what's the vision for the site?
Well, on the site, what we hope to do, and we've already started planning, we have a lease that we're going to sign with the town of Hilton Head for the next 99 years. And we're going to erect replicas of the village that was in existence in 1862.
How fascinating. There were some tabby structures, or was it all wood? How were they built?
They were tabby structures and wood. Most of it was wood. The Union Army brought prefab material, and they actually were able to build the houses. In other places on the island, you might even see replicas of the houses that were taken apart and moved and rebuilt in the island. We hope to have a welcome center in which we can have performances and information films to show what life was back in that time.
How interesting. I think we have a picture, an overview from the landscape designer of the park. Can we put that up on the screen? There we go. So it's a lovely, already the landscape there is just so natural and beautiful in itself, but clear out just a little bit and you'll have that performance structure, and then there'll be places people can walk around and see the different cabins where they'll be living?
That is correct. And also we hope to have ongoing archaeological digs to enhance the site and get people involved, that they can actually see some of the relics and some of the pieces of information that showed the life of the people that lived there.
There really hasn't been much archaeology done there. Is that right, Irv?
There were a few digging in the area, but most of the digging was just north of that site that we are talking about, Fish Hall Park. But we do have some archaeological digs in that area.
Any ideas, they have expectations of what they might find? I mean, certainly the utensils and things that would be used, but are there relics from the war they might find there too, or?
Oh, absolutely. They'll find relics from the Native American days, yeah. So from the Native American days up to actually now.
Interesting. Well, it'd be great to have some time. So this sounds like a grand vision for all this. How did the organization get started to try to make it happen?
Well, actually, it started almost 5 years ago, and they ran into some problems, and it went dormant. And beginning of this year, Thomas Barnwell took over the committee, and a lot of people were re-energized, and we sort of like had a vision of what we wanted to do, and we found out that the park was going to be the perfect place to do this. And with the help of the officials at the town hall.
This is the Fish Hall Park that's there off of Beach City Road.
That is correct. Okay. Which is actually the site of the old Mitchellville, the actual site. So when you go in there and you stand in the park, and where we're going to do some of the buildings will be the exact locations just about of where the houses were in 1862.
Now the original community was about 150 acres, I think you told me?
About 150 acres, yes.
That's a pretty good amount of space. So that kind of covers the area part where St. James Baptist Church is now, and then
yes,
across there.
Part of that area as well. And originally, the occupants live in their homes, and then they farm the outlying area of the village.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you probably could find artifacts, into like the Barker Field area and all that around there.
Absolutely.
We hope to be able to tell a lot about the people that lived there and what their status was, who was doing better than the other person by some of the artifacts that we hope to find. They tell the story of how they lived and who lived there.
Sounds great. So I'm sure it's a big budget, and these are not good fundraising times. What's your goal, and where do you stand?
Well, we've started raising money. We're a nonprofit organization. We are trying to get contributions from everyone, not only local people and businesses, but we're looking to get grants and help from the government. We're part of the Gullah Geechee corridor, and it's possible that this might be one of the jewels in the corridor, and we hope that Mitchellville will bring additional tourists and revenue to the island, and we hope to be able to share in that experience.
Well, we're all talking about ways to market Hilton Head Island, and this is certainly a great part of the story we collectively would like to tell. So you've made some progress, but still really kind of low, coming up that ladder of the fundraising effort. So you want to thank everybody for what they've done so far, and you have a party planned.
Yes, on the 5th of December, we have more like a thank you and celebrating. Actually, it's a Christmas greetings and thank you for those individuals who have initially embraced this project, right from the community member to the politicians. But that's what we would love to do. We would love to do that on the 5th of December at about 1:30 at the park, and we are setting it up where we're gonna have some of the faith-based community involvement, and I think this is an initial start where we can energize the community.
Some entertainment, got some kids going, some kids singing maybe?
Have some kids singing a little Christmas carol, a little cider, and a little...
refreshments are always good.
Yep.
Well, it's a fabulous project and a really critical part of our island's history, and thank you for all the work you're doing to make it more accessible to more people, not just on the island, but hopefully throughout the country who can come here and see this important part of history.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
Sunday, December 5th, 1:30 to 2:30 at the Fish Hall Park off of Beach City Road. We hope you join everybody there. Now please stay with us for more conversations with Hilton Head Islanders.